If you're bummed out because Zappiti is no more and you won't be able to add future content to your movie library, then stick around because I have the next best thing, the Revolution PlayerOne. Let's discuss. Inside, you're going to get an accessories box, and then you're going to get a user guide for the PlayerOne. And inside the accessories box, you're going to get various power cables. And on the front of the PlayerOne, you have your power, USB, an LCD screen, and then you have your hard drive bay. And I believe you can stick up to 16 terabytes inside the hard drive bay. And then on the back, you have an HDMI for main, HDMI for audio, HDMI in, infrared. And then you have your gigabit LAN, a USB 2.1, USB-C, USB 3.1, your power switch, and your power inlet. And then you also get some antennas and a remote control. All right, so we've got the PlayerOne booted up, and this is what it's going to look like the first time you turn it on. So it's going to ask you for your language. I'm going to select English, and then it says initial setup will be performed now. And just FYI, I am using Ethernet. I do not have the Wi-Fi antennas connected, as I try to use everything with Ethernet. So I'm going to select automatic setup. And then it's going to apply your network settings. And then once it applies the network settings, it's going to find that there's an update. We're going to hit OK, and then we're going to wait for it to reboot. All right, so now the update should have been applied, and we're greeted with this. Looks similar to the Zappiti, but updated and more modern. That was my gripe with the previous Zappiti players, is that it just looked outdated. So we're going to go to setup, and we're going to check our system. Make sure we're connected to the network. All right, so we're connected, Ethernet, looks good. So it looks like these are the options that you have under setup. So you've got general. So you can set the language, you can set the time zone, time format, screensaver. You've got video. So you can do auto edit. You can go all the way from 480 all the way up to 4K 60. Then you got auto frame rate, auto resolution, HDR and Dolby Vision settings, and additional settings. Under audio, you've got HDMI audio enabled. We want to keep that. And then for digital audio mode, we want to do bitstream because that's going to give you your Dolby Atmos and DTS:X, as well as RO3D if you have that. Under appearance, you've got main, and then you can select some different skins, custom. You can probably upload some. You've got default folder view, animation effects, and some other settings. Under additional, you can adapt for user interface for widescreen. I do not have a widescreen, so we're going to leave that on no. Under playback, you can select language, subtitles, control. We've got preferences. Under miscellaneous, you can do file browser, encodings, location, optical drive, display, support, firmware upgrade, power management. Let's just check real quick to see if we have a firmware upgrade. Check available updates. We are on the newest one, so that's good. We've got support. Under system, you'll find your typical Android settings. And under information, you'll find the information for the player. Under applications, you got some applications that you can install. You've got the Google Play Store, you've got YouTube, you've got Miracast, Google Play Games. I'm not going to be installing any of these. This is only for video streaming on my network. Under Explore, you've got my internal hard drive here, and then you've got network browser, and then you've got built-in memory. So let's go to our video. All right, so now we're in the video player. So we're going to select English. It's going to ask you if you're sure. Yes. And then it's going to tell us that there's a new version available. We're going to hit update, and then we're going to wait for that to update. Okay, so after it updates, you're going to need to register your device, and then it gives you the instructions. Now, I don't have a Revolution account, so I need to create one. Okay, so after you create an account, you'll be greeted with this screen. You've got my account, you've got your base, and then you've got your collection. So if we click on that, I can do open my collection, or I can scroll over rename collection or trash collection. So we're going to keep the my collection, and then we're going to hit connection. All right, so obviously I haven't added any content yet, so we're going to do that now. So I'm going to hit the plus button, and then I'm going to add some movies right now. And then we're going to go to local drives. So this is the drive that is inside of the drive bay on the PlayerOne. So we're going to select that. And then I'm going to do Ultra HD. Add the folder. We're going to add another one. Movies, local drives. You'll do this for however many drives you have, however many folders you want to add. We've got Blu-ray ISO, and then I'm going to add one more, local drives, and then we're going to do movies. Okay, and then if you want, you can add movies from the network. 808 Hulk Smash, that's my computer with all of my networked drives on it, and then you can see all of my drives here. So for now, because this is probably going to take a while if I add all of these, we're just going to focus on the internal hard drive. All right, so once it finishes scrubbing through my hard drive, you'll see all your movies that you just added under recent, which I haven't actually watched them, but you can see the movies that I've added that are on my hard drive. And then the same thing is if you add movies over your network. So if I click in here, we get the movie poster art, and if I click on the movie, we should get some more info. So you get a lot of info, and I really like that it shows all of the audio codecs that are on here. So you've got Dolby 7.1.4, so that's going to be your Atmos, and then you've got standard Dolby, you've got Dolby 5.1. I really like that it shows you which audio options that you have. You've got the scrolling information for the movie, and then you've got, you know, Ultra HD, Dolby Vision, HDR. It gives you the rating, and I assume that that's IMDb rating. And yeah, so if we go back and then we go over to all, we should see all of our movies. Great, so it looks like it stores the movie posters on the actual device. So that's really good because it's a lot snappier. Again, I have way more movies than this, but for the sake of the video, you know, I don't want to take up the whole video just showing you, waiting for all my movies to scrub through and download. All right, so another thing that I like is that it shows you, or it differentiates between a Blu-ray and a 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray. You'll notice here that it has the 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray logo, and then for Blu-rays, it just has a standard Blu-ray, and some of those are also ISO files. I don't see that it shows you that it's an ISO like on the Zappiti, but I'll have to do more research on that. So I do like that this looks a lot more modern than the previous Zappiti players, and I will show you what those look like in case you don't know or in case you forgot. But over to your left, you've got your, you can sort by letter, and then over to our left, you can sort through all movies, TV shows, if you have any TV shows recent. So if we go over to recent, again, I haven't played anything, but it's just going to show you different ones that maybe you've either added or ones that you've watched and stopped watching. TV shows, obviously I don't have any TV shows at the moment. If we go down here to categories, you can sort by the different categories. So you've got all these different categories that you can sort by. So if I wanted to go to, let's go to action. It's going to show me all the ones that are under action. If I go to comedy, which I don't think I have any here. Well, I do have one, Mario Brothers. So that should give you an idea all the different categories that they have. You can sort through those if you only want to see specific movies in that category. And then over here we've got next. Now I assume that this is probably going to be for your TV shows. So if you're watching a TV show that has multiple seasons, multiple episodes, it's probably going to show you the next episode that's available to play after you finish the current episode. If we click on top movies, I don't know what the criteria is for this and how it sorts it, but there's your top movies. You have sagas. So these are all sagas that have multiple entries in that movie series. Under scene, it'll show you the movies that you've watched. I haven't watched any yet, obviously, because I just set this up, but you'll see that there. Unseen, it'll show you the movies that you haven't watched. Current, nothing there. If you have personal videos, then it will put them in this category. And it looks like that's all the movies that we have, or all the categories that we have. So again, it looks like it's pretty snappy. It saves all of them, all the movie posters on the device, it looks like. And yeah, it should be a lot quicker, a lot snappier. All right, so as a comparison to show you what the previous Zappiti player looked like, this is the interface. Again, I wasn't a fan of this. It looked completely outdated. I didn't like the orange background. It was much slower. So this new player, the PlayerOne from Revolution or Arvolution, is going to look much better. Now, for the most part, this looks pretty similar to the Arvolution PlayerOne. However, you lose the orange background. You've got a black background now. And even though the movie posters are kind of shaped the same, it just looks better, more updated, more modern on the PlayerOne. I think this is going to be, obviously the PlayerOne is going to be quicker, snappier. As you can see, the Zappiti, this is the Zappiti Neo, it doesn't load very quickly. And it was just time for an updated version, which obviously the Zappiti players are dead now, but you should be able to get the new interface with the new app at some point in the future. So the PlayerOne is just going to be a better player overall. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed the first look at the Arvolution PlayerOne. I'm really excited to get this in my theater, put it through its paces. I think it's going to be much better than Zappiti. Now, whether or not the company holds up like Zappiti, that remains to be seen, but it's good to see that they have started a new company and they are on the up and up. So make sure that you guys stay tuned to the channel, because I will be doing a dedicated video review of the PlayerOne, and I might even do some more additional content, maybe the PlayerOne versus Zappiti. Not really sure yet, but let me know down in the comments if that's something that you would like to see. Again, thank you guys for watching. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. If you're not already, then I would appreciate it if you go ahead and do that. And make sure you tell your friends about this video. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you in the next video.